Hey guys, Andrews here with another Black Desert video. Today we're going to look at something very good if you're enjoying Woosa release. We got buffed from what the test server pre-release build showed on Woosa. Not even minor buffs, these are some juicy damage buffs to both PvE and PvP. There were some minor tweaks here and there, so I'm going to go over all the skills that were changed and let you know what this means for Woosa going forward. We're going to start with Wingbeat, our favorite spacebar skill. It now does 17% more damage in PvE and 5% more damage in PvP. My favorite skill in the kit got major damage buffs for PvE. What's not to love? Next up, we have Flutter Kick, our PvP engage skill, so a pretty important skill. It now does 10% more damage in PvE and PvP, but more importantly, it's now full forward guard protection in the entire animation, meaning it is even less risky to use than before. It's a very powerful change. Fan Kick, our AP buff skill, now does 10% more damage in PvE and PvP, which is great because you're always going to be using this skill to get that buff anyway, so more damage in your combos is always good. Kaleidoscope, one of our longer range AoE skills, now has 19% more damage in PvE, which is nuts, and 8% more damage in PvP, which is not bad at all. Thunderstroke, one of our best abilities for generating clouds, now deals 16% more damage in both PvE and PvP, which is amazing. Cloudcarve, our other favorite cloud generator skill, does 18% more damage in both PvE and PvP. Sagunja Plum, our heal mini nuke of a skill, now does 16% more damage in PvE and PvP. It becomes one of our hardest hitting skills that also heals us and is frontal guard. Really good skill, 100% crit, just amazing overall. Bamboo got some big changes as well, so sadly we did lose our crit rate self buff, which is a bit of a bummer, but in exchange we do more damage in PvE, a little less in PvP, but we now have an evasion debuff on that skill, which is going to help with that slight PvP damage nerf we got. The skill icon has also changed, but I don't really like it that much. Let me know what you think about the icon. Bamboozled, our bamboo flow, got a whopping 31% buff to PvE damage and a 5% buff to PvP damage, which is crazy. A Chrysanth, our movement speed buff and debuff skill, now deals 10% more damage in PvE. Orchid now deals 17% more damage in PvE, which is really good. That entire W plus E hold E animation change is going to do a lot more damage now in our combos. Stormfall, our hardest hitting skill, now does 10% more damage in PvE and 23% more damage in PvP, which is great to see. The 200% version of this, the BSR version, did also get a 24% damage nerf in PvP, which was expected. The 200% isn't as rare these days, but the reduction for PvP wasn't really that high on test server, so it made sense that it got nerfed on live. Cloudrise got a flat 10% damage buff to PvE and PvP, which is also great. That flow for that skill, Stormbolt, also changed a little bit. It no longer gives the slow debuff, which I think makes sense. It was a 30% slow, which is really powerful in PvP, and I think it was a bit too much for this class. But in exchange, they've given the skill a 32% damage buff in both PvE and PvP, which is really good. And we also now have a cloud activator in the skill, so we can set up Cloudrise with a cloud generator skill like say Cloudcarve into Cloudrise, and then you use the flow Stormbolt to get a lot more damage in PvE. Our Q block attack is now called Flourish instead of Boomerang, which is fine. Tigerfly now has added the PA skill in the list of activators in the tooltip. Flitting step now consumes 100 more stamina, which is a nerf, but that was expected. The stamina consumption on Woosa is really low, but even these stamina nerfs to fleeting step and chain fleeting step are not really that bad. You're probably not going to notice it if you're on test server and now on live. Butterfly step, the long distance dash, now has a new name, Butterfly step, which makes sense because the test server name kind of overlapped with our side dash. Now you even get fall immune damage on the skill, which is really good, but there's no added stamina consumption, so stamina is the same as it was on test server. And lastly, our clouds themselves were nerfed in PvE by 12% damage, which is why we saw a lot of raw damage increases in our cloud activator skills. We now have the skills front loading the damage, which is a good thing. You don't always need to use the cloud attack now for the skills to do decent damage. In PvP, it actually is a 5% damage buff when you use cloud attacks, but we are also now limited to 2 cloud summons at a time, where we could summon something like 6 to 8 clouds at a time before they despawned on test server. So overall, this is a major boost to our PvE capabilities and even our PvP play. First time, I think in a long time, I can remember a new class releasing with such high amounts of buffs from the test server. Woosa is honestly shaping up to be a fairly strong class, so it's going to be interesting to see where her twin sister Megu ends up. She is really strong on Black Desert Mobile, so we'll see if that translates as well when she comes over to PC and console. Let me know what you think of the Woosa buffs in the comments. If you were on the fence about Woosa and you have had a chance to try her out, let me know your thoughts. I'm working on some PvE grind related videos for Woosa, so stay tuned on the channel for that. And as always, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.